Alrighty, so we have some new leaks, and I think that they're very interesting, specifically because I think they will affect me very well. So the first thing that we have is a new Meliodas, which I don't think is all that exciting because obviously we already have 10 different Meliodas units in the game, but he is the main character, so it makes sense that they're going to add more. And I do want to say he definitely puts disclaimers that, hey, these details might not be correct, and obviously any of this stuff is, very early, it's leaks, it's very subject to change, so definitely take that into consideration. Take some of the information with a little bit of a grain of salt. So the thing that's interesting to me is that the description for the hero is tomorrow's champion Captain Meliodas, which means that he could potentially be the blue SSR Meliodas that we're missing, that uses the original Meliodas cosmetics and stuff like that, because we have a green counter Meli, of course, who came out on the very first banner for the game. There was a red Halloween Meliodas that we got, of course, and then the blue SSR or SR Meli that we have is an SR unit, so we're missing an SSR character with the same name. So this makes sense. This could definitely be him, and it says he removes the enemy's buffs and stances so that allies can attack efficiently. And you can see here the thing that I'm most excited about is this passive, which is at the start of the allies turn, increases basic stats of the units that have 2 or less skills in hand by 20%. So it works kind of like Nanashi. I don't know if this, increasing the basic stats by 20% is going to equate to him getting blue buffs or whatever the case may be, or giving out blue buffs. But I think that it's very interesting. I think we need more good subslot units that we can use. The fact that he is an older Meliodas, like an older named Meliodas, is kind of concerning because the stats could be bad. But whenever they introduced Ragnarok Bond, they also increased the older Brawler Bond stats a little bit here and there, if I'm not mistaken. So maybe we'll get the same kind of treatment with this. I could definitely see him being sort of like a step up banner, which would be nice because we could grab him and just throw him in the subslot. So he is very interesting, I think, just because he's not necessarily like an upfront kind of unit, and he's an older unit, so you get to use older cosmetics and stuff like that you've already built up on your account, which I think is potentially a good thing. Next up, we have a very, very interesting one. I'm super excited for this specifically. We have a new Demon Chandler, and I'm assuming this is like the demon form Chandler that we've seen in the more recent chapters of the story, and he is an assault mode Meliodas support unit, I think, and he looks insane. So obviously, like I said, all of this stuff is definitely subject to change. He even says here that his skills are the same as Green Rimaru's, so he thought it was wrong, but they make sense with the passive and description, but still could be incorrect. But anyway, we'll read over it. So it is new Demon Chandler. Description is Primal Fragment Chandler. The highest level demon has the ability to block the enemy's recovery related abilities, so he can lead the battle to an advantage. And this is very interesting because Infect has become like a very big part of the meta, I think, with being able to just lifesteal your health back, or Red Tarmio Link, or whatever the case may be. So him or the the assault mode team having an Infect is going to be really helpful, I think. But his passive is what makes it so interesting. So it's Primordial Power in PvP only, I'm assuming, so it's going to be a PvP kind of unit. If every ally in the battlefield is a demon race or uses a commandment, increases all allies' pierce rate by 40%, which is a big boost. Increases damage dealt by demon race or units with commandments by 15% for each debuff the enemy has. So running him on the assault mode team, having Festival Zeldris in the back who puts debuffs on the enemy, every time they attack you or whatever the case may be. I can't remember exactly how it's worded, but it's pretty easy to put some quick debuffs on. You could even potentially try to run Green Sario Link or something like that on the characters to increase very quickly. This passive sounds insane. It sounds very, very good. It sounds exactly like what Assault Mode needs at the moment, because Assault Mode's not really super meta. You can definitely still win games with Assault Mode, but I think more support for him could be very good because he's kind of fallen out of the meta at the moment. Hopefully there's no new human support coming for the Bond team soon. But his first skill is titled Cleave. I thought it was saying that it was going to be a Cleave skill, but it's just called Cleave. And it is the Infect skill, and it is an AoE, which is really nice. His second one is Exterminate Ray, which I think is really cool because if you've played the newest story chapter, he steals Exterminate Ray from Merlin, if I'm not mistaken. And it is a single target Pierce card, which is very good in the meta right now as well. So you're going to be able to shoot through King Shield shields like it's nothing. And then he has a weak point ultimate, and he doesn't know if it's going to be an AoE or single target just yet, but weak point is 3 times to debuffed enemies, which is going to be pretty much what his kit is all about. So I think he's going to easily do tons and tons of damage with this thing. So I think that he's a very, very interesting character. Super excited for this one because I'm a big fan of using assault mode. So I'm definitely going to be summoning on that when it comes out. But the last thing that we have is Freya and Freyr attendants. So he says Freya and Freyr are Ragnarok units and will be selectable as attendance units. I don't know when, and I don't know if they will be playable, but until now every attendance hero was playable. So good indicator there that we'll probably get them as units at some point. He says Freya attendants, she says, do your best today to praise me, Freya. My dear people, I have prepared it for you. And then Freyr's attendance is, I've prepared a present that you might need. I've prepared a present for you, please open it. And then he also says, I have found Freyr's weapon with no texture, and this is kind of what it looks like up close. It looks really cool in my opinion. Very, very neat design. It almost reminds me of like what a holy relic would look like. It looks a little bit more extravagant than just a regular sword maybe, but I don't remember that we've even seen Freya or Freyr in the story for Ragnarok yet. I could be mistaken on that and just haven't been paying attention, but I don't think we've seen these characters. But even if very, very interesting stuff. So I'm all for, new and interesting, Ragnarok units and everything. And a big fan of Chandler. I'm very interested in seeing if the Meliodas works in the Subslot, which I assume he probably will, and we'll see how they implement him into the game. Maybe they'll buff his stats or something like that. But either way, I think this stuff is very, very cool. Hopefully you guys think the same. Either way, thank you guys so much for watching. Feel free to subscribe if you have not already, and I will see you guys in the next video. See you then.